Hey guys, I'm Jane and welcome to Interior Insights. Today we're going to look at a really cool apartment that is a mix of the old Art Nouveau times and a mix of modern elements, and this fusion of different styles really is what makes this apartment so incredible. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe. The apartment is set in an old building from the 19th century, which is why you can see all of the beautiful moldings in the ceilings, and I think this is really unique. It is actually home to a really cool emerging artist from Hamburg, which is one of the reasons I think why it's so cool, because you can really see the personality of the artist in this apartment. And he didn't shy away from using a lot of different bold colors and really creating a unique design. We are already here in the living room. The centerpiece of this apartment is definitely this big artwork that is behind the sofa, and it is actually one of the first artworks that were created by this artist, and I think it is really beautiful. And it is set against like a petrol blue intense color. We can see that you shouldn't shy away from color, and bold and fun colors are always a good idea, and especially if you have such high ceilings as this. The modern gray sofa kind of sets in the back and integrates itself into the wall. And to really like offset this design, you have this really cool chandelier, glass chandelier in the ceiling. And you can see that even though these two elements, like the chandelier and the sofa, are from two completely different periods and like are maybe hundreds of years apart, design-wise, they go together and they really give the space a unique feeling. Over here on this side, we have two very big windows that really like frame this wall and just add a lot of beautiful light. And you have a lot of really nice plants that really like brighten up the design and give it a more playful approach. And what I really love is the fact that when you look outside, you have these beautiful buildings that you can look at. And right opposite of this apartment is like a reddish brick building. And the red was actually pulled from the outside. And you can see these like the same red colored accents throughout the design, such as these pillows. And this really just creates a connection from the outside to the inside. Like I always say, whatever is outside your building is a part of your design and you should always consider it. Or here we have a really beautiful small teapot. And here also we have this really old farm cabinet that is also like an antique from the family. And I think you can never go wrong with keeping your family's beautiful old furniture. And even if you want to achieve like a modern style, you can just add some more modern elements like it was achieved here and like really get this unique and perfect blend of old and new. And that's what I think makes the design exciting. These old buildings kind of reminds me of like this loft living, because you always have these very big, beautiful framed doors that you can just open up, and this way you can like seamlessly let the energy flow from one room into the next, or if you want to have like a more intimate gathering. Even though the dining room isn't enormous, a very big table was placed in the middle that was actually also customly made by the owner himself. The table is made just from 3 really big slabs of wood. It has these like really rustic metal details, and I think that's really beautiful. It's placed really symmetrically in the room, and it owns the room. It sits in the center, you have to go around it, and this is what I think gives the table such an important energy. Offset of the table, symmetrically, we have this beautiful artwork that is just a mirror that really like also frames the table. The mirror is framed by 2 beautiful, I would call them sconces, but they're made for candles. But yeah, and you have these like gold accents that are really cool, and it looks like a little nice composition that almost translates into an artwork. And even though we have so many old and like heritage items that we can find here, for example, this cool bookshelf actually used to be like a wine shelf, and it just adds a lot of like dynamic shapes and forms. You still have all of the modern elements, and I think it is exactly this eclectic mix, such as these really cool modern Scandinavian chairs that are paired with super like Art Nouveau, vintage, antique details. I think that's what makes this design so unique. Or even like, if you have a look at this lamp, I think it can barely get more modern than this lamp. Also, if you have a look over here, you have these really beautiful Art Nouveau cabinet with all of these like vintage antique details and like floral elements. And it just really, these old pieces always really have a soul and always like really give any design like a grounding and just a really beautiful atmosphere. And here the color palette is not quite neutral, but it's quite simple. It's really just whites and browns and a bit of green. and this just gives the whole design a very hearty and light atmosphere. Whereas here, when we are in the living room, the color palette is a little bit darker, more moody. You have more bright accent colors. Because of the darker colors in the living room, I think you can like wind down a bit more and feel a little bit more cozy, a bit more comfortable. So darker colors are always nice if you want to create like a really relaxed atmosphere. Now, let's go into the bedroom. So this is the bedroom. Here we have more of a cleaner and neutral and pared down look, and I think this always goes really well because the bedroom is a place where you want to relax. So you have just these really nice pared down colors, and the walls, I actually notice now, they are in this like really like pastel baby blue, faded out baby blue color, and they also give you like this really grounding, relaxed atmosphere. And you don't have any colors that are like screaming, whereas in the living room you have this like intense petrol blue. Here everything is really muted and it gives you just this really calm atmosphere. Or here, this beautiful vintage lamp that still has like a very, even though it's vintage, it has quite a modern shape because it has like quite simple geometries. So hallways are always spaces where you can really like showcase your interests or hobbies or pictures of your family. And because this is the home of an artist, you have a lot of really cool photographies that he took throughout his years placed on the wall. Yeah, so hallways are really always a good place to add a collage, add a few paintings, add a few pops of color. And here we are in the kitchen, which is the heart of the home, and you can really see that right as you come in. It's kind of like a vintage retro vibe, and it really just is the heart of the home, and I think this is what a kitchen is supposed to be like. And here we have, because we don't have so much space, you have a small table that is again set against the wall, which is always a good way to save space, and just like a kitchen niche that goes from side to side. And over here we have some more really cool pieces of art, or like old illustrations from marketing ads that are quite fun if you take a closer look. And the coolest thing about this kitchen is the fact that it seamlessly extends into a beautiful small balcony where you can have breakfast. So yes, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, I'm sure you will like all of the other ones, so go check them out. Make sure to subscribe. And as always, see you next week.